Hey, Hodakaguy here. Just wanted to take a couple minutes and show you guys another piece of gear that we take with us all the time when we travel, and that is our Biolite 2 wood-fired camp stove and the Biolite stainless steel barbecue grill attachment. These two pieces right here make up a really cool ultra-portable wood-fired barbecue setup that's a lot of fun to use around camp. We've cooked on this setup now for about 5 years, cooked a lot of meals on it. Over that time, I've learned a few tips and tricks that I thought I'd share with you guys on using this stove, and then I'll show you a couple of the accessories we bring along to use with this stove and what we use as a fuel source. So before we jump into the review, if you guys would jump down below the description and hit the like button. You can also hit the little bell notification there if you'd like to be notified when I put these videos out. And you can follow me on Instagram at HodakaGuyTom, where I post pictures of our travels and update our build in turning our Sprinter van into a camper. So with that being said, let's jump into the review. All right, let's get into the review. We'll do the barbecue attachment here in just a minute, but let's take a look at the stove first. This is the Biolite 2, the second generation of this stove that the Biolite company has put out. We'll take it out of its little travel bag here. Take a look at it. The stove is comprised of two parts. So you've got the stainless steel fire chamber, and you've got this little orange unit that I call the power unit. This is really the heart of this little stove and what makes it unique. So to use this stove, you just take the power unit and slide it out of the fire chamber there. They nest into each other there just to make them compact for storage. The first tip that I would say is, you notice that there's a blue piece of paper towel that I have wrapped around the power unit. This is a fire pot, so it's going to have ash and soot built up on the inside of it from all your fire burning. When I put the power unit down inside it to nest it for storage, I don't like getting all the soot all over this unit, so the paper towel wrapped around it serves a couple purposes. It keeps this unit nice and clean, and it also gives me something to start the next fire with. So when I go to use this again, I'll take this, twist it up, stick it in the bottom of the fire pot, put a couple sticks in there and light it, and it makes it a lot easier to get the fire up and lit. So a couple things about this stove that makes it really unique is the power unit here has a built-in fan in the back, a little squirrel cage blower that provides combustion air for the fire chamber and adds oxygen and makes the fire burn cleanly and efficiently when it's up and running. So this little unit here has besides just the air blower, has a couple pretty cool features. So the biggest thing you'll notice is it's got this tip sticking out of the back. This is a TEG, or a thermoelectric generator. This takes heat energy and converts it into electrical energy. So once this unit is up and running and the TEG is hot, the TEG will produce power, keep its 2800 milliamp hour lithium onboard battery charged, and run its own fan, which is pretty cool. So it's totally self-sustaining. You never have to charge this. It's always ready to go and keeps itself charged. So that's a pretty cool thing. The other thing it's got is at the bottom of the stove, it's got a USB port on it. When the TEG is all the way up and running at full capacity, it'll produce about 3 watts, or produces 3 watts of power out of the USB port. So not a ton, but you can hook a cell phone to it and charge something off of it if you'd like while you're cooking. I've never used that feature. I just like the fact that it charges itself, that it's got a combustion blower for the chamber there, and that it keeps itself charged, which is pretty cool. It does, I'll note, it does come with this little bendy LED light that will plug into the USB port on this if you're cooking at night. I've never used this with the stove, but it's a handy little setup if you want to plug it into your laptop or have a reading light inside the van, etc. So it does come with the version 2 of this stove. Another thing, I'll show you how this little power unit works. There's a on-off button on the front. You push it, you'll get a status indicator off to the right here that shows the current state of charge on the onboard battery. If you press it again, you'll see a little blue light up here in the middle. That is your fan. So now you've got the fan on the low setting. I can feel some air coming out of the bottom, and there's 4 settings total. Push it all the way to the top. You can probably hear the little squirrel cage going. And then you push it again, drops back to the first setting. If you press and hold it, it'll turn the unit back off. So those 4 fan speeds are used to control the temperature output of the cook unit itself. When you have the grill attachment, it's really great. These allow you the options, to cook on a low speed. If you want to sear a steak or something, you can kick it up on high and get some more flame pushed into the grill there. Works great for that. And then off to the left here, there's one more status indicator. That yellow status indicator is hooked to the TEG itself. So once the generator is up to full capacity, you'll see this line all the way up. It's producing its full power. You can plug something in to charge with if you'd like to. So that is the power unit. Then you've got the stainless steel fire chamber here. So this is a double-walled little setup here. The air from the power unit goes into this slot here and comes out of a bunch of little perforated holes on the inside. So it swirls inside the combustion chamber there, adds oxygen, makes it burn clean and efficiently. Very easy to set up. You just take the power unit, slide the TEG through the hole. You can see it protrudes into the combustion chamber there. You take the middle leg, flip it out. It locks the power unit onto the stove base. Do the other 2 legs, and that's it. So at this point, the stove is ready to use. You can put your fuel in it, light it up, and you're ready to cook. You'll see these 3 raised lobes on the top of the stove here. That is so if you want to take a frying pan or a pot of water and set it directly on the stove, you can do that as well. I've never done that, but it is an option if you'd like. The only thing I ever use this stove for is just the grill attachment. So I'll show you how the grill attachment works on this unit. The grill attachment comes with this rubber cover that snaps onto it. That's nice, so when you get done, any grease or anything that's left on the grill surface itself protects your van or your camper, keeps it clean inside. So to utilize it, you just pop the cover off, set it to the side, and this is the actual grill assembly here. So it's a pretty compact little unit. You've got three parts to the grill, so when you're done and you're going to go clean it up, all you do is pop the grill out. So that's the grill. This is your diffuser, and that's your body for the stove itself. So only 3 parts to put it back together. You just pop the diffuser back in, take the grill, put the grill back in, and you're ready to cook. To use it on the back side here, the legs just fold down so they click into place. You take the stove, set it right onto the Biolite there, and you're ready to cook. Makes a pretty compact little setup. This is the lid that you can open and close so you can feed the fire pot as you're cooking. One note that I would say on this is the fire pot or chamber here is a pretty small fire pot. So it's something that you have to constantly, every few minutes you need to flip this open and add a chunk or 2 of wood, close it while you're cooking to keep that fire going. I'm a gadget guy. I like messing with stuff like this around camp. It is something you got to kind of tend to, but to me that adds to the fun of while I'm cooking on it. Gives me something to tend to and play with while I'm doing the cooking. So I'll get into the fuel for it here in a second. I'll show you a couple of the accessories we use with this stove. One is I always carry a little stainless steel brush. And I'll put links to all of this in the description down below to Amazon if you'd like to pick any of this stuff up. But a little stainless steel grill is nice, or brush is nice to clean the grill when I'm done. I can also reach down inside the fire pot and clean that out with it. Another thing that we use all the time, and you can get these on Google, Amazon, just search barbecue pigtails. If you've never used a pigtail for a barbecue before, these are a cool little unit. My dad and I guess shameless plug here, my dad and I actually make and sell these. We actually started making mini versions, what you see here, just for use with this little stove. But these are great because you can take the hooks, you can grab the meat, flip the meat, push the meat around on the grill, move meat from one side of the grill to the other. It's also kind of a multi-tool for this stove because I can use the tip of it to open and close the lid. Also, if I drop a wood chunk in there and the wood chunk hangs up on the TEG, I just take the tip of this, reach down and push the wood, and then close it again. So I use this both to tin the stove itself and to move the meat around the grill. Like I say, these are available all over the place. Just search barbecue pigtails, but they're a very handy tool for any barbecue. The other thing that we use is this is the lighter that we use to start this grill with, and I'll set this to the side here so we can talk about starting and lighting this grill. I've used this lighter now for quite a few years. It's the Asoto butane lighter, refillable. It's got a tip that extends out, and it's kind of got a jet flame on the front of it. So when you light it, I don't know if you can see that or not, but it makes a nice hot jet flame to it. Works really good for reaching down inside the fire pot and lighting the fire. It is refillable, and one of the other little handy things we carry along with the lighter is this little refill tool. So in one of my previous videos, I demonstrated our jet boil and our My Joe coffee press that we bring. So I always have the fuel cartridge available for the jet boil with me, and this little refill tool just screws right onto the fuel cartridge. Then you can take your lighter, stick that onto the refuel tool, and fill your lighter back up, so you're never without fuel for your lighter. So that's another little tool that we carry all the time with our van. So one of the things about this stove, another tip I guess or trick, is getting this thing lit. A lot of people seem to have problems lighting this stove. I was using it last summer, and I actually had a lady come over to my camp and ask me how I started this stove. She said she had purchased one of these through REI, took it out one time to give it a shot and could not get the thing lit, got frustrated with it, took it back to REI. So she was curious how I got the thing started. Pretty easily. Over the years, I've learned a couple tricks on doing this. First, I would say what fuel source you're using. So I like to make up this little box here full of pre-cut wood that I bring along with this. You can go down to Walmart, Target, Home Depot, anywhere that sells barbecue accessory parts. They carry these wood smoke chunks, and you can get small or large bags of these. I just take a hatchet and I split them into nice little dried wood chunks. The other advantages of this is you can get the flavor of wood you like. So you can get hickory, mesquite, alder, whatever flavor of wood you like to cook with. And then I cut it all up, pack this little container up with wood, and bring this with us. So it's nice dry wood, it's chunked up nicely, and this is what we use. So going back to the piece of paper we talked about earlier, I twist this up, stick it in the bottom. I'll take a few of the thinner pieces that I've cut. I'll stick in there, a few of those in there around the piece of paper. I'll tilt the stove on its side, reach in with your lighter, light the paper, set it back down. Give it a second for that paper to start burning. As soon as that paper kind of catches good, I'll reach over and push the fan on, turn it on the low setting, and start adding some air to that and pushing some oxygen in there, and it takes right off. So I have a 100% success rate doing it with this method on lighting this stove. If you're using something like twigs that you're finding around camp that may not be as dry as these boards here, another trick you can use to help you start this is in all the camp sections at Target or Walmart, those kind of stores, they always have these little fire starter boxes. They're a couple bucks. One of these will last a year or two. They last a long time. And basically they're compressed sawdust, and they've got a little bit of wax in them to make these things catch on fire. So all you do is take one of these, break a little chunk of this off, and this will burn for a minute or two, a little longer than the paper burns. So what I do is I take this, stick it in the bottom of the pot, stick your paper back in there, and then take your sticks that you've broken and stick those in there, reach in and light this. So once the paper catches this on fire, this will continue to burn long enough to kind of catch those sticks on fire and get the thing up and running. Not needed all the time, but if you don't have really dry wood that you're putting in there, it's another nice little tip to make sure that you can start the fire easily. I know that sounds like a lot of work. In reality, I mean, all of that setup takes 20-30 seconds. You light it, and it's up and running. You get used to it pretty quick. So, you know, this is a more of a stove, I guess, for if you like gadgets, if you like, you know, playing with this kind of stuff around camp. It's fun to play with. It's probably not as convenient and quick to use as a small propane stove with a screw-on canister, but I prefer the taste of smoking on with wood instead of propane. So for us, it makes a nice little setup and like I said, we use this a lot in our travels. So I hope you liked the quick review. I'll do another video here in the near future, maybe on actually lighting it, showing the stove in action, and maybe we can cook something on it. But for now, that's the overview of the Biolite Gen 2 stove. So hope you liked it, and this is Hodakaguy, and we'll see you on the next video.